Okay, so in the last class, we have already completed the theoretical portion of the chapter database. Now we have to do the practical of this chapter with two different softwares. One is MySQL and one is MS Access. So first we are starting with MySQL. And first of all, I will show you the coding in two different ways. First, I'm showing to all those students who have already installed MySQL in their system. So you'll write my and you will be able to see this option. Click here. This window will open in front of you. I'm going to open the magnifier so that you can see my window. So the password is Scott, SCOTT. Okay. Now, first of all, before starting the code, we have to check how many databases we already have in the system. So for that, I will use the command show databases. Put a semicolon. Semicolon is compulsory at the end of every command. It means the command is complete now. So show databases and semicolon, and then you have to press enter. Now your screen is showing the list of databases which you have. Okay. Now, so these are the list of databases which I have in my system. Suppose I wanted to open class 10th D database. So I'll write here use class 10th D semicolon enter. Database change. The message is coming. Database change means now you are inside the database of 10th D. Okay. Now we have already opened this database and I wanted to check now how many tables I have in this database. So I'll write the command show tables. Okay, I have only one table in this database, that is PERD. And now I wanted to see the structure of the table. So I'll write the command describe the name of the table, that is PERD semicolon, and enter. This is a structure of the table which we have in the database with the name class 10th D. Now this table is having three different columns or fields, you can say. First is roll number, which can store integer values of size 2, means you can enter two numbers. Then next is name, varchar, type is varchar. 20 means you can enter characters up to 20. Status varchar 3 means you can enter characters up to 3. And null value now. Null value means here in roll number it cannot be a null value, it cannot be 0. It should always be only means any value should be there. And here in both the columns we can have null value. Key means either we have defined it as a primary key or not. So roll number we have defined as a primary key and there is like nothing extra to define. Now suppose I wanted to open any other table, like suppose there is a database with name school. So I just wanted to open, so I'll write use school semicolon enter. Database changed. Now suppose I wanted to check is there any table inside this or not, so I'll write show tables. Empty set, it means there is no table in this database. So I'll go back to the same database which I have opened earlier, that is class 10th D, and I'll write the command use class 10th D semicolon, enter. Database changed. Now next I wanted, okay, database is already changed. So now I wanted to show tables. There is one table and I want to create a new table in this database now. So I'll write the command create table. Now I wanted to create a table with name, suppose uh, school 10th D, bracket start. Bracket start means now you are going to start writing the fields or the columns of the table. Like suppose I have one field with roll number, roll number, and this can store integer type of value of size 2, and it's a primary key. Put a comma, come to the next line, press enter. Now next is now name varchar. Varchar means I can enter a number up to 20 alphabets, but if I'll use only 5 spaces, then rest of the spaces will get freed automatically by the software. So this is a use of varchar. If I'll use char instead of varchar, then whole 20 blocks of memory will get occupied throughout and it will not get freed. Means the wastage of space will be there. So I am using varchar 20. Again put a comma. Next I wanted to create suppose a class, or no, I wanted to create um, like a percentage, or instead of percentage you can say total marks, and marks will be in number. Total marks, there should be no space. If I want to give space, spaces are not allowed, so we can use underscore. Marks, then number, and it will be 4. Then like suppose I forgot to put a comma now. Now in the next line I have to put the comma because otherwise it will give me an error message. Then next line, and now suppose I wanted to create one more field, that is fee, and here fee status. In this field I just wanted to take two values, that is yes or no. So I can take it as a varchar 3. Now suppose I am done with all the columns of my table, so I'll close the bracket. Which bracket is this? Which I've opened it in the beginning, at the time of starting, when I was starting creating my table. This bracket I need to close here. So after the query, put a semicolon and press enter. Now it is showing there is an error message, fee status varchar 3. Fee status varchar 3. Okay, so I need to write all the commands again. Here in SQL we cannot copy and paste, but we have one option. I can right click, I can click on mark, and I can select till everything till here, because till here I know that everything is correct. So it is already selected. Now I click here and click on paste. Now put a comma, come to the next line, fee underscore status varchar 3. These are just looking like a angular bracket, but make sure that these are not the angle brackets. These are the circular brackets which I am putting. Put a semicolon now and enter. Again there is an error. Let us create a table till total marks. I think there is some issue with the fee status. Let us check. Mark, copy till here, paste, bracket close, semicolon, enter. Near number. Okay, sorry. The problem is I have used here number instead of integer. So this is the problem. I need to paste it again, and it should be integer 4. Put a comma, come to the next line. I am adding now fee status, fee underscore status status varchar 3 bracket close, semicolon, enter. Okay, query okay, 0 row affected means the table is created now. Now we have to display the table, the structure. We have created the structure of the table. We have not inserted any value in the table yet. So I am writing describe school 10th D. This is the name of my table. So put a semicolon and enter. So now this command is describing the structure of the table. All the field names are coming. Their types are coming, whether they can have a null value or not, that is coming. Key, whether it is a key or not, that is coming. Default means I have not inserted any default value, means by default there is no value inserted in the table. And extra, there is nothing extra defined for the particular field. So this is how you can create a table. But make sure one thing, even if you will do a single error, single mistake, you will not be able to run your query. It will give you an error message like it was showing to me, and it is little difficult to understand the error message which it displays on the screen. So right now we are doing only this much. Now I'll show you how to run all these queries if you are not having the MySQL in your system, and if you have to run all these queries on the online portal or online compiler. I'm opening Google now. I have to close the magnifier first. Okay, so here I'm writing Rexter online compiler. You can write rexter.com also. I told you to create a login ID for the website. I have already created. Now from here you have to select, you have to do the coding of which language. I'm doing it for MySQL, and it's a code area, and I wanted to display it horizontally or vertically. That is my choice, so I wanted to display it horizontally. Remove whatever is written previously. Now one thing, you have to make sure that you cannot create your own database here. You can only use the database which was previously saved in the software. Online compilers don't allow you to create your own database, but that can be done in MySQL. I think I forgot to show that command, so I'm showing it again here. I have already opened. Suppose I wanted to create a new database, so for that I'll write create magnifier. If you have to create a new database, you have to write the command create database and then the name of the database. Suppose I wanted to create it with Dikshita. Create database Dikshita, put a semicolon and enter. Query okay, one row affected. Now I wanted to check whether it is created or not. So I'll write the command show databases. Enter. These are the list of databases which I have in my system, and now Dikshita is also the part of the databases. So I can open the database by command use Dikshita, and now suppose I wanted to check is there any table there in the database or not. So I'll write the command show tables, put a semicolon and press enter. Empty set means there is no table in this. And then how to create table, that I have already shown. Now come to the online compiler. I'll off the magnifier now, and okay, here we have to check how many databases are already there. So I'll write the command show databases semicolon and run it. Here you have to run it by with the help of this button, run it, or you can also press F8. Now these are the two databases which is already there in this compiler. Now suppose I wanted to create a database. Create database Vikshita. Put a semicolon and run this command. Now it is giving me an error message. It means I cannot create, access denied. It is saying. It means it is not allowed to create any database of your choice in the online compiler. You have to use a database which is already there. So I'm again writing the command show databases. Semicolon and run this command. Okay, so here I'm going to use this Rexter's database. In the next line I'll write use Rexter's Rex tester. Run it. Okay, command is okay. Next is, now I have to check show tables. I need to check is there any tables in this database named Rexter or not. So show tables and run it. So there are so many different tables which is already there. This is a list of the tables which is endless. So I'm going to create my own table. Create table. Now I'm going to create a table with name Dikshita. Bracket start. Here I need to write, suppose it's same table which I've created earlier, roll number, integer, size 2, and it's a primary key, comma, come to the next line, name, varchar 20, comma, and suppose the class I'm going to enter an integer of size 3, size let us take 5, then section I'm going to write in varchar and the size will be 1. Now suppose my table is complete, so I'll close the bracket, put a semicolon and run the command. Okay, so I think the table with the name Dikshita is created now. Let us check the list. All numbers are coming, A, B, C, and come to D now. Okay, so here it is with the name. It is not there, but it has also not displayed the error message. So I am just removing this command from here, you show tables, and now I'm going to run it. Okay, Dikshita name table already exists. So I'm just writing Dikshita 1, 2, 3. Run it. Okay, now I think it is all created. Let us check now. We have to write the command describe Dikshita 1, 2, 3. Put a semicolon and run it. Table Dikshita 1, 2, 3 already exists. Okay, so I need to remove these commands because it is creating again the table. I am removing all the commands and run it now. Okay, now this is a table describe Dikshita 1, 2, 3. This is a table which we have created. We have inserted 4 fields: roll number, name, class, and section. Their types are coming there, whether it can have null value or not, that is coming, whether it is a primary key or not, that is coming, default value, and there is no extra information. So we are doing only this much today. We have created a table. We have learn how to run it on MySQL and how to run it on Rexter also. In Rexter, you may face some problem because every time you have to remove the previous code and then run the new code so that it should not give you an error message. So you have to be careful for that. That don't forget to remove the previous code. Okay, so I hope everybody understood the concept of how to create database, how to open the database, how to show the tables of the database, or how to create a new table in that database.